If you are involved in a lawsuit that may include punitive damages, you may be wondering, are punitive damages taxable? Well, this is a really good question that many plaintiffs have when navigating legal settlements. I'm Greg Maxwell. I'm a practicing attorney and a certified financial planner, and I help plaintiffs reduce their taxes on settlement. Today, I'll be breaking down the tax rules around punitive damages. I'll discuss whether they are taxable and, most importantly, how you can reduce your tax bill in cases with punitive damages using tools like the Plaintiff Recovery Trust. So please note that the information in this video is for general informational purposes only and is not intended as tax advice. So before we discuss the taxability of punitive damages, we first need to define what punitive damages are. Punitive damages are funds awarded in legal cases that go beyond compensating a plaintiff for their actual losses. Instead of just making up for the harm done, these damages are meant to punish the defendant, especially if they acted intentionally or recklessly. Unlike compensatory damages, which are meant to compensate the injured party for actual losses suffered, punitive damages are designed to deter the defendant and others from similar behavior in the future. So the intent of punitive damages is to punish the defendant rather than simply to make the plaintiff whole. So when are punitive damages awarded? Punitive damages are typically awarded in cases where the defendant's conduct is deemed especially egregious or reprehensible. Now that we understand what punitive damages are, let's dive in and find out what the IRS says about the taxability of punitive damages. The taxability of legal settlements depends on the nature and origin of the damages alleged in the lawsuit. Nearly every type of legal settlement is fully taxable. One major exception is for compensatory damages received in a personal physical injury case. In cases involving personal physical injuries, the settlement is tax-free under Section 104 of the tax code. So now the question is, how does the IRS treat punitive damages? Well, according to the IRS, all punitive damages are fully taxable as ordinary income, even if the underlying compensatory damages are tax-free, like in a personal injury situation. So this means that even if a plaintiff receives compensatory damages that are excluded from income under Section 104, any additional punitive damages received will be fully taxable as ordinary income. So the plaintiff will owe federal income tax at rates up to 37%, as well as applicable state income taxes on the total amount of punitive damages awarded. So why is this? Well, the IRS views punitive damages as a financial windfall rather than making up for the injuries suffered in an accident. So for example, if a plaintiff receives a $500,000 settlement for physical injuries in a car accident, that $500,000 would be tax-free compensatory damages. However, if the plaintiff also receives $5 million in punitive damages, the full $5 million punitive damage amount would be fully taxable. So even if the underlying lawsuit is for personal physical injury, punitive damages are always taxable. The tax treatment of attorney's fees can also become an issue with punitive damages. So in many cases, legal fees attributable to compensatory personal injury damages or employment cases based on discrimination or retaliation are deductible on the plaintiff's tax return. However, legal fees attributable to punitive damages are not deductible. So this means that the plaintiff will be taxed on the total amount of punitive damages, including the portion paid to the attorney as a contingent fee. So the non-deductibility of legal fees attributable to punitive damages is especially problematic after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. So before 2018, legal fees were deductible as a miscellaneous itemized deduction, albeit with some limitations. Now, miscellaneous itemized deductions are completely suspended from 2018 until 2025. So this means that for the 2018 to 2025 tax years, legal fees attributable to punitive damages are entirely non-deductible. So a plaintiff who receives $5 million of punitive damages may pay up to 40% of that amount to their attorney as a legal fee, yet they would be unable to deduct any of those legal fees on their personal tax return. So this means the plaintiff would pay tax on the full $5 million, even if they only netted $3 million after the attorney's 40% legal fee. One other item of note, in some cases, plaintiffs are also awarded taxable interest and punitive damages. So post-judgment interest is always taxable as ordinary income, even if the compensatory damages are tax-free. So in sum, the IRS doesn't tax legal settlements that compensate plaintiffs for personal physical injury. However, the IRS does tax any amount awarded as punitive damages. What's more, after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, plaintiffs cannot deduct their attorney's fees on the punitive damage portion on their personal tax return. So this can result in a huge tax bill without careful planning before settlement. The high tax bills in these cases can be a real gut punch, since plaintiffs often don't expect punitive damages and interest to be taxed. In some cases, the tax liability can end up exceeding the amount of money the plaintiff actually gets to keep after taxes. So what can you do to reduce taxes if your settlement includes punitive damages or interest? The best planning tool for cases involving punitive damages or post-judgment interest is the Plaintiff Recovery Trust. The Plaintiff Recovery Trust solves the enormous problem created by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So as a reminder, after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, plaintiffs cannot deduct legal fees for punitive damages on their personal tax returns. However, by using the Plaintiff Recovery Trust, plaintiffs can avoid paying taxes on the legal fees that they pay as attorney's fees on the amount given as punitive damages. So that's what makes the Plaintiff Recovery Trust so powerful. The Plaintiff Recovery Trust allows plaintiffs to only pay taxes on the amount they actually receive, and not the entire punitive damage amount. So for example, if there's $5 million of punitive damages in a case, and the attorney charges a 40% legal contingent fee, without the Plaintiff Recovery Trust, the plaintiff is going to pay taxes on the full $5 million, even though $2 million of that $5 million is paid to their attorney. With the Plaintiff Recovery Trust, the plaintiff only pays tax on the $3 million he or she actually receives. Using the Plaintiff Recovery Trust often doubles or even triples the amount plaintiffs get to keep after taxes. And it's the only way plaintiffs receiving punitive damages can avoid being taxed on their attorney's fees. In short, the Plaintiff Recovery Trust is a powerful tax planning tool in cases with punitive damages. Depending on whether the compensatory damages you receive are tax-free or not, there are additional tax planning strategies we can use to further reduce a plaintiff's tax bill. And I've discussed those strategies in some of my other videos. So there you have it. Today we've covered how punitive damages are taxable, and how the Plaintiff Recovery Trust can dramatically increase a plaintiff's after-tax net recovery. The key takeaway is that while lawsuit settlement taxes can be confusing, there are ways for plaintiffs to minimize taxes and maximize their take-home recovery. When used correctly, strategies like the Plaintiff Recovery Trust can literally double or triple the net amount plaintiffs get to keep after taxes. So I know we've covered a lot of ground today, and I'm sure you can see why settlement taxes have so many plaintiffs worried and confused. But don't worry, we're here to help you navigate the complexities of settlement taxation. If you're receiving a settlement soon and want to keep more of your hard-won settlement money, my firm is here to help. We offer a free, no-obligation 15-minute phone call for plaintiffs nationwide. To book your consultation, you can visit amicusplanners.com/call, or you can find the link in the comments or description next to this video. We'll provide a 100% customized roadmap for you, showing how much extra money you could net if you implement the tax planning strategies I outlined. So even if you don't move forward with our firm, you'll walk away with invaluable tax education on what to expect when you get your settlement. So in the meantime, check out our proprietary free settlement tax savings calculator, which is found at settlementtaxcalculator.com. This calculator will estimate how much you'll have to pay in taxes, and most importantly, it shows you how much more you can keep by using the strategies I mentioned in this video. So please don't wait to reach out, since all of the tax planning strategies available to plaintiffs must be set up before you receive the settlement. If you wait until after you receive the settlement, it's too late, and there's really not much we can do to reduce your taxes at that point. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.